Star 1978, Star 8378, Nicole Cattaruzza. It's December 2nd, 2021. I'm sitting on the floor on the mat, trying to rest my legs at the moment. I just returned from my morning walk, jaunt walk. A jaunt sounds more like a jog or a fast walk, which I do not. If there was almost like a theoretical orbital routine where you just walk in a almost the shape of what a track, TRACK, for track and field is like, where you have at the Olympics the runners that, right, if you take that shape and you place it geographically over my daily path, that's what I have access to. So that's kind of the footpath drawn. However, because of geospatial layout, not of my own design, I don't have that track and field there. There might be one at the high school. I don't know if it's, school's in session. I don't know if the public's able to use it, but it's not that's a distal walking path. That's not realistic. This is just what is near the residence that I have at the moment. Circumstantial, coincidental, I don't know. Although that coined incident gets to be a little issue, because I didn't pay for this, and I didn't ask for this, and I definitely don't like this, this type of setup. It's not my preferred, but it is whatever it is at the moment. So as I'm walking with my umbrella, but my umbrella more today and yesterday, I've been carrying it more like a walking stick of sorts, but for the purpose of when I stop at a traffic light to take some pressure off of the hip articulation, where all the pressure is in the lower back. So anyway, so I'm walking across the street, and as I walk, there's a delivery man I've never seen before, not in this area, but the delivery people and the service people that do maintenance around here, they're not like, I rarely see the same delivery trucks and people. They're not consistent, stable features. I don't even know how they're scheduled. I know some people can schedule. It's like on some rotation that has no pattern that I've been able to establish since I've been walking. I don't normally study the DOT, like in the truck services and things. I will glance at them, however, if they're a visual disruptor, like in my path, or if their van has some interesting artwork on it, I'll take notice of it. But it's really hit or miss. It's not my main function. I'm there to exercise and kind of assess the nature, but that's a broad stroke, like umbrella canvas at the moment, but not canvas. How I guess it's more of like a puzzle for me daily, because I don't know what to expect. And whatever. And I'm really deteriorating health-wise, which is my primary concern. So as I'm walking today, I saw some unmarked whatever. I see them here and there. Then there's marked cars here and there. It's just part of whatever they do, whatever part of the puzzle they're working with in for safety. But I'd be more of the pattern expert in, and not even at like, at whatever pace I'm at the moment. Whatever this ace pace, you put a P in front of its pace, whatever, for pattern of watching, and being aware sometimes of things and unaware of others. Today, however, though, since there's no real direction, I hear there's a thing called anthropology, and then there's a thing called historian, but those really have no context. I don't have like a grand understanding of what or how they became or even got into their studies. I don't know what it encompasses, but from what I can gather at the moment, it seems they're an important feature that I don't even know how to access. I don't have any readily available that I'm aware of or that have announced themselves for education purposes. And I don't know what field they entered for work for themselves. And as I walked, I'm kind of just today. I'm more like if we went into cartoon world, we went into Winnie the Pooh. I'd be more like Eeyore, the donkey with the tail that is nailed on for some reason, and just very like mopey, but like sluggish and like just dragging, low on energy. So as I'm walking across the street, this man is delivering supplies from Benjamin Moore, which is a paint company. It looks awfully similar to what's painted on Macy's. Macy's is all red with one star with white lettering. Benjamin Moore is similar, painted on the side of their trucks, but with two different colors in there. But anyways, the man is pulling a pallet off the back of the truck, about to go up, and my timing just happened to be I was crossing his path, and I know I'm slow, but I'm just, I don't know, I can't, it's like I'm on some time mechanic I can't get out of. It's a weird phenomenon to try to explain. More like birds stuck in a magnetic track almost. So, so the man says to me, I pass, and I'm just going, but trying not to be in his way either. And so he stops me, and he says something, I forget what exactly he said. And then I said, no, I said, I'm just more drained of energy, it feels like, whatever. And in the far distance, just beyond, I see two people, a couple, just stopping and watching my conversation with the gentleman. And but I see it in my peripheral view of my corner of my eye, over his shoulder. And so he says to me that I should try something called Malta. I had never heard of it. I've heard of something called malt, but usually that's like a protein shake they say is made of malt. But he said Malta, and then he said it's Goya Malta. And the way he spoke, he did not have, his bass sounded very spracha, I would say Spanish or Hispanico or Hispaniola. It did not sound something different, that could possibly be, which And I was having, and I understood what he, well, I mean, I understood the sounds that he was making. That was not the problem. The problem was the product that he was referring, I had never seen or heard of before. So there was no picture that I could attach with the words he was saying. So he was kind enough to take the time to show me what exactly he meant, because I had not seen the product in the store or knew what its purpose was in the store. So he said that should help with the energy. And I said to him, he said I needed an energy drink. And I said, well, I have coffee, but I said I have anemia, so it's whatever. So, so he showed me, he said, see, Goya and Malta. And I was like, oh. I said, yeah, I've never seen that before in the store. I was like, but you think that will help? More of like an elixir or something that sometimes certain areas know more of these things, or different categories of things that I'm not exposed to that I wouldn't know. So I said thank you. I said thank you for showing me that. I appreciate that. And then I continued on. Now, as I didn't, I'm not really, and then as I walked, and the couple stayed there, watching him show me whatever it was. So now I finish walking, and I'm thinking to myself, in this direction, Anthony, 1975, he goes on the internet, he watches YouTube videos, he watches a variety of whatever that I do not expose myself to, for whatever reason. But he and I don't communicate a lot. He goes in his life and I in whatever. Nothing unusual for the two of us. So now he has mentioned to me before some, he referred to it, the words he used that were in the video as a reference was something Jewish, or they say the word Jewish or Hebrew sometimes together. I'm not sure if that's correct or not. Again, I don't have any scholars that could tell me what's acceptable in the world outside where humans exist. I'm more of that secret life of pets. I'm like the dog locked in a room is what it feels like at the moment. And the humans leave and they do whatever humans do. The dog in the room doesn't know. But the dog knows when their human comes back that it's their human, and that they're supposed to feel safe. So I'm thinking of this conversation that Anthony showed me, and they mentioned this word goy, Goy. And Anthony has gone on and on about this word before in a very not so nice method, saying that, but again, I don't really know because I'm not a scholar of any of these things. So this is what gets so confusing with this reading of things and availability of this library of things that could be misconstrued wrong. I don't search for it. I don't purposely look for this trouble. I'm trying to be on a different path of, I would like some face-to-face information and scholars to protect me and myself, rather than this unlimited resource remote library, but the information might be misread or mistranslated, or I might not have myself labeled properly within a situation. If it's a problem and responsibility on myself, I don't know how to respond to these things. I don't. I'm almost like a blank slate at this point. But that puts me also in a highly vulnerable category, which then scares the heck out of me, because when you're vulnerable, then that's when people take advantage of you. But I do want to wish that somewhere in the world there's one person that fights for vulnerable people to protect them, and he is successful against those that try to do more devious things in whatever their purpose is. So I do not know, but sometimes you don't know what a spirit has on the inside until the spirit lets out a little voice, à la bec, à la tête, à la bec, plumari, for alouette, gentil alouette. I don't know. So, but yesterday the angel of LA did say he wanted his children to have blue eyes, which I did not know how to take that compliment either. It seems like a compliment, but I don't know if it's underhanded compliment. So for me, I said, that is so nice and touching that you say such things. I said, but I belong to a man that I am very much in love with, and that I am waiting for him to return for me. I said, but I thank you. And I walked away. So, these are the things that I am unclear, being so vulnerable and so uneducated or unassuming, or I don't know. That is why I feel it's easier to use a prop of a artichoke. I don't have Brussels sprouts. Linda likes to eat those, so she made those for Thanksgiving. But I've put a picture of a Brussels sprout up before with letters to label for a one-time purpose of, this is what I mean when I say Brussels sprout. It is a vegetable. Same with the artichoke. But for me, it's the method, if I must communicate, which I prefer not to, but here we are. I don't know how to protect myself in what I see going around and what I am frightened of, and I do not know. So this is what the daily picture looks like, or the daily picture looks like in North America, in New York. I'm in the house that they brought me home from the hospital. I'm in the same room, just one floor down, where my grandfather's art studio used to be. But not an art studio like a gala or a rented space. It's a 120 square foot room. And that's where I sit on a mat. He at least had a sketch table. He was very good at sketch, and he was talented, but he was also a trained artist by hand. Just calligraphy with a Greek base of something, and it was the best time that I had in this residence, which I have not felt in a long time. Not here. And that is what looks like outside the window. So that brings a whole nother level of whatever to the real picture of what is going on at weather and planetary, that I also do not have any whatever in at the moment. It's Bayside Station, Bayside, New York, 11361. It is Earth, Solar System, Milky Way, Universe, Galaxies, Brooklyn. But there is certainly a variety of different things. But if you don't have a pattern position inside of the village, it is hard to get a feel of what any type of movement looks like. So, like the difference between a drive-by or a drive-through, and then to paint an entire world upon that is not as accurate as one who is in motion in a different pattern, for geospatial purposes anyway. This is at a time which I will just link back that scares me because of what is going on. In other areas around the city. Of course, in the county of Queens, which I don't know how they don't normally call Manhattan a county, so I don't know how that works either. Again, I've never been brought to that level of overstate or understate. Star 1978, Star 8378, Nicole, Cattaruzza. It's Bayside Station, Bayside, New York, 11361.